Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lelo Mahlaba. If you are new, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you like what you see and then you join this family. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much guys for helping my family grow. I really and truly appreciate that. Seeing the numbers going up bit by bit, small progress, still progress, right? Failing you on YouTube if you're watching me for the first time. Today I want to talk about real estate, so I'm judging things up a little bit. As I have said that in this channel we'll be talking about real estate matters, doing some DIY and also Christian related content because I'm God's girl, you know. Yeah, so first things first, a lot of people have been asking me how I got into the real estate industry, you know, seeing as it's not something that is normally like taught in school or options that are given to us on career day in high school, etc. By the way, I matriculated like 11 years ago or so I don't know, maybe now it is being introduced or like spoken about, you know, my career days and things like that, but nowadays it was something that was totally non-existent. So how I got into the real estate industry is so I was based in Johannesburg, right? I'm a Benoni girl, and I was literally in a season of my life where I was feeling so unfulfilled. I'm laughing because I see this in a whole lot of my recent videos. So I was just asking God, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what am I passionate about? You know, I'm quite good at a lot of things, and I was working at that time. I'm quite good at a lot of things. Like, I can excel in whatever I put my mind to, you know, but I be good at it, excel in it, you know, be acknowledged for it, but still feel unfulfilled. And I was like, I don't like this feeling, like it wouldn't sit well with me. So I took it to God and I'm like you understand? So I didn't get an answer. I just went about life, and then I was looking into relocating to Middleburg, specifically because I wanted to be closer to the church that really changed my life. Yeah, understand? So I was visiting this particular church, which I felt I'm really connected to. So I wanted to continue serving in the church and just being part of the church. So I wanted to be closer to the church in terms of I wanted to be there for midweek services. I wanted to be there on weekends as well, without any hindrances. You would see this weekend that my transport, this weekend, blah blah blah. So cool, fine. A friend of mine is like, hey friend, are you still looking into relocating? I'm like, yeah, sure, definitely. Why? She's like, oh, there's a guy who's looking for a receptionist, but I gotta call company, you know. But a colleague of mine knows the guy, and the guy was looking to source her colleague into working for him, but her colleague was like, no, she's very satisfied in her job. So she was like, aren't you interested? I was like, let me give it a shot. What job is it, you know? And she told me. I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot. So I did. I sent through my CV. Luckily for me, I got invited to an interview, came through for an interview. There was no company as yet, so I was just buying into this man's vision, which I did, and that is how I got into real estate basically. So he told me everything that I know regarding real estate. Like he played a huge part in my real estate career. So he told me almost everything that I know in real estate, which I appreciate so much. I'll always appreciate that guy. He knows himself. I appreciate you. So yeah, I worked for his company. Oh, we watched that company grow. And that was beautiful to see. I have nothing negative to say about that. Yeah, so that's basically how I got introduced into real estate. I started off as a receptionist and I worked my way up, which is so lovely for me, and it was so good for me to see. And I fitted in so well. Is fitted even a word? Yeah, like it was like literally what I've been praying for, like everything, to the extent that I'd share my visions regarding real estate and they'd be the visions that the guy has for his company. So I grew so well. Everything was perfect. Like I've got nothing negative to say regarding my journey in real estate. So yeah, that is basically how I started. So chance there be a chance, but for me it was not a chance necessarily, because I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that everything has the hand and touch of God in it, and God orchestrates things to happen in a particular manner for his glory. So that is literally how I got into the real estate industry, and I'm super thankful for that. Lucky me. That is not what I wanted to talk about though. I just wanted to discuss that, and then we move on to the next topic. So there's one thing that I want to address, right? First time buyers, or yeah, at most it's first time buyers. I mean, not just categorize buyers at large, because when you're buying property for the second time, third, etc., you know better and you do better. First time buyers have this challenge of providing us with proof of funds. So before a person can buy, right, they need to be evaluated for their affordability, their ITC check, and their credit record check, just that whole credit behavior. So it's either, if you're going to be buying through a loan, then you need to provide us with pre-approval certificates. But if you're going to be purchasing cash, then you need to provide proof of funds. So I've got an issue with people that are struggling to provide proof of funds, because they feel as though that is like too intimate, or they feel as though siyababonela, you know, English translation of siyababonela. They feel as though they are exposing a part of their lives that can put them at risk of being robbed. Yeah, that's how they feel. But now it becomes a struggle for an agent or agency to be able to assist them, because how am I supposed to show you houses without me knowing that indeed you do have the funds, you know, to purchase the house or the vacant land or whatever it is that you'll be purchasing that is real estate related. So I just want to warm our people up that guys, it is mandatory. It's either you help us conduct a pre-approval certificate for you, which at most people don't mind, because they'll be purchasing through the bank, so they already know that there are things that they're supposed to provide, you know. But when it comes to proof of funds, fine, you don't have to expose that this is in your name, etc., but we need to see that, hey, this is how much I am able to afford to buy for. Then we also have a guideline as to where to help you shop around for, you know, the price brackets of the houses that we can be showing to you, so that you can choose the one that best suits you. I hope I'm making sense, honestly. So yeah, I really wanted to touch on that. And tips for first-time buyers. So what I normally advise is that people need to prepare in advance for purchasing a house. You know, it isn't necessarily a thing that you wake up and decide that, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Unless of course you have the funds and the means, then hey, by all means you go do that. But for the majority of people, especially in South Africa, you know, this is something that you really need to prepare for. You know, just sit with yourself. If you're a single person, then you sit with yourself, you sit with your budgets, you sit with your expenses, you know, you draw everything out, and you be honest to yourself as well, you understand. And if you're a married couple, you're buying with a partner, whatever the case may be, then you need to sit with those parties that are involved and be honest with each other. Write your budget down, do you understand, and just set your realistic goals. And another thing that I do normally advise is that see it before, you know, you live it, which is very much important. You know, see it in your mind before you can actually seize it. So know the type of property that you want, the type of property that you want to buy, the type of home that you want to live in, the type of neighborhood that you want to wake up to, you know, the type of location that you want to live in, you know, the surroundings that you want around you. What do you want to be closest to? Do you want to be closest to a mall? Do you want to be closest to a school because you've got children, or looking into have children in the near future? You know, the type of churches that you want around, and all of those factors are key factors that you can actually go with to your agent, so that they understand exactly the type of property that you want to purchase. You understand? Because purchasing a property, guys, is not necessarily only about the house. We need to look into the neighborhood that you are buying into, the surroundings of that area as well. Some people get turned off because there's a railway station closer by, you know, then they're like, no, I can't, because the train will make noise while I'm asleep at night, and that could scare me, which is valid. I'd also get some anxiety because I'm such a, you know, a light sleeper. So that is valid. So see it before you can seize it. Know what you want, write down your budget, plan ahead, write down the surroundings that you want around, the type of amenities that you want around. You want a mall, you want a school, you want a church, you want a playground, etc. Write that down and make it known, so that even when the day comes for you to start the process of buying your house, you know exactly what your standpoint is. You know exactly the amounts, the budgets, like your maximum amounts that you want to purchase for. And remember, besides just purchasing a house, you need other costs, like to pay for the attorneys. There's bond costs, there's transfer costs. Bond costs are basically paying a bond attorney to open up a bond account. That is if, of course, you are buying through the bank. So they are opening up a bond account for you, which costs money. Transfer costs, in essence, are just transferring the property from one owner to the other, you know. So you need to keep those costs in mind. And by planning ahead, you are able to save up for those costs, because you cannot take up a loan and take up a loan for the property and take up a loan for the costs as well. So let's say you have decided that by the end of the year, I want to at least buy a house for 700,000. If you can start your journey now and you have a reliable agent, you can actually ask your agents that for a property of 700,000 Rand, how much cost would I need to have? Because that is something that is fixed. It's not something that the attorneys just decide on their own, that we're going to charge you this much for bond costs and this much for transfer costs. So you can ask your agents in advance, okay, cool, how much am I supposed to be saving for? You know, roughly the rough estimates, because I mean, figures change, but what is the rough estimate that I would need to save for if I want to buy a property of around 700,000 Rand? And your agent can work that out for you and give you the estimated figures. Then what you can do, because you're serious about purchasing a house, right? And that is your personal decision. You can teach yourself to set money apart. Of course, if you're not maybe renting at that time, you know, if you are staying at home, let's say, or let's just say you're staying at home. So what you can do is teach yourself that there is a certain amount that is going out. In that case, by the time you actually purchase a house, you are already used to the fact that there is this certain amount that is deducted from my salary. Do you understand? And because you have started training yourself in advance, you can use that money either for bond or transfer costs. But let's say you're buying into a development, you can also use that money to put in a deposit, which will make your repayments installment quite less. Do you understand? So another thing is, if you want to put in a deposit, what are the benefits of putting in a deposit? So a deposit can make your installment go down quite much, you know, even though not for a drastical amount, but then putting in a deposit upfront can really help decrease your repayment installments that you'll be paying on a monthly basis. You understand? And another thing that I do want to touch on is, if you are renting, how you can then train yourself is, say still you want to buy a property of 700,000 Rand, and let's say at the moment you are renting a property of 5,000 Rand. So I don't know if everyone knows, but the installments of a property, the monthly installments of a property is normally 0.1% of the full purchase price. So if you want to buy a house of 700,000 Rand, then you are looking into paying plus minus 7,000 Rand monthly. Obviously, there's still going to be house insurance involved, there's still going to be other costs involved, but you are looking into paying plus minus 7,000 Rand. So if you're buying for 800,000 Rand, then you are looking into paying 8,000 Rand, plus minus 8,000 Rand monthly. If you're going to be buying a property of 1 million Rand, what does it mean, class? It means that you'll be paying a monthly installment of 10,000 Rand. So yeah, let's say you are planning to buy a property of 700,000 Rand and you are currently renting out a property of 5,000 Rand. So what you do is then train yourself to save the difference. So because when you purchase your house of 700,000 Rand, you'll be paying a monthly installment of about 7,000 Rand. What you do now, on top of the 5,000 Rand that you'll be obviously still paying to your landlord or your agent, you are then going to save out an amount of 2,000 Rand, so that you teach yourself that an amount of 7,000 Rand will be going out of my salary. You understand? So then with that 2,000 Rand that you'll be saving, let's say for 12 months, that is money that can play a huge difference. You can actually pay your bond and transfer costs, or either one of them, because sometimes in certain developments you don't pay for bond costs, but you pay for transfer. In some it is excluded from both. But even if you're not paying for those costs, you can obviously use that money for your deposits if you don't need a deposit. And if you received 100% loan, then you can use that money to furnish your house. You can use that money to add other things that you want for your property. I mean, there is always a need for money, especially if you're moving into a new space, then money will always be a need. So yeah, that is about what I want to share and talk about today, and I hope that you guys have found it very helpful. Do let me know if there's other things that you would like to know so that I can break them down to you and bring them to your understanding. And with any other real estate related questions, do leave your comments below and let me know what it is that you'd like to hear or learn from. But however, I do plan to drop weekly videos regarding real estates, just so that I can educate people and give people tips and advices on things that are pertaining to real estate. But for now, that is it from me. See you on my next video. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye for now.